What's up, guys? FrugalBC. Huge slate of Algorand news today. Actually, so much Algorand news that we're going to divide it into two parts. So we'll have another video with Algorand news coming tomorrow. But on today's video, some big news around AlgoGem and payments and what's driving transactions on Algorand. We'll look at that. Algorand 3.0 has some crazy new features. We'll dig into that. Wallet with a new chart feature. Kind of cool little thing we'll talk about. Plus, the biggest thing I think today is that today, Tinyman governance goes live. The very first vote is coming. It wasn't quite live as I was prepping for the show, so we'll see if it's live now, but it's supposed to come sometime today. If it's not out by the time I finish making this video, we'll talk a little more in depth about it tomorrow in tomorrow's video. But before we get to all that, guys, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, as always, you don't have to smash it. You know, you can just press it gently. It works just fine that way too. Also, you know, we have channel memberships for only $1, so you can get these videos before anyone else. And thanks to everyone who's signed up so far. Appreciate that, guys. Also, we are brought to you by Non-Fungible Domains, I almost said it again. A great way to get that .algo address. Makes it a lot easier than remembering all those letters and numbers on your wallet. You can just, mine's frugalbc.algo, super easy to remember, and I can just punch that in as the address. So much easier to remember. They also got vaults and segments, lots of cool stuff going on there. So check that out in the link below. They just recently participated in Coinbase Quest, and they've got a lot of new users from that. So that's very cool. Very cool that they were part of that. And that FrugalBC is connected to them. So very cool. But let's get into the Algorand news. This first news item, we're going to talk about Tinyman governance at the end. So stay tuned for that because I think that's really neat. But first, let's look at this news around AlgoGems and their new payment. Okay, so this is from Frostbit Solutions. They talk about, we are excited to announce that ArcPay is now live on the Algorand testnet. To get a first-hand look, we've prepared a few demos to walk you through the basic P2P ArcPay experience. Creating an organization, super easy to register. Creating a sale listing, easily set up and manage your listings. Demo through buy a listing. Here's a way to buy a listing using Algorand tokens. Renew your activity, review your organizations, transaction history, evaluate your feedback, and we'd love to hear more about your experience. So you can input it here. Peer-to-peer payment structure is set up, and this could be a really cool thing for the Algorand ecosystem. All right, so that is very, very cool, but what's driving transactions on Algorand? The answer might surprise you. We're going to look at the top transaction users, and number 2, I think, might surprise you a little, or maybe not if you played it. Let's check it out. Yeah, this is shared by Gunny because they are number 2 in transactions. Is that right? Starting strong in the top 3. Last week, according to TrainTrail, we surpassed over 900,000 real transactions from real players. Now, if you know, in the game, you rack up those transactions pretty quick because this is the Gunny Rush app. You are this is Gunny, so I don't know if that counts Gunny and Gunny Rush. It has Gunny Rush on here, so I think it probably does, but you're always collecting stuff. And in the regular Gunny game too, which I was part of the alpha testing. I haven't checked on the development of that in a while, but it definitely had some promise. Seemed like it would be kind of a fun game. And especially in the Gunny Rush app, you're constantly collecting aura, sometimes some Algorand, sometimes some various other things. It's kind of a neat little game. I keep it on my phone. I play it once in a while. It's pretty fun. But yeah, otherwise, TravelX still the leader, and I've got some news coming up. We'll probably talk about that tomorrow on TravelX, so stay tuned for that. Orange Mining, as you know, the auras, that's like a mining platform where you stake algo and basically burn transactions to get aura. And World Chess, you know, there was some talk. I heard some talk that this was going away from Algorand. I don't think that was true because here it is, still up there. Arbitrage bot C3, which you know is going to be winding down. It's probably why it's up there on the transactions because everyone's taking their stuff out. And Fry Foundation, I actually don't know what that is, so that's really interesting. But yeah, nice to see Gunny up there. The only game up there right now is from what I can see. Am I missing that? I mean, World Chess is like a game, obviously, but it's not a game made specifically for Algorand. It's the fact that their game results are settling on the Algorand rails. One of those cool under the ground, under the radar kind of things that's happening on Algorand. But let's move on to our next item. And this is some cool news around Algokit 3.0, some changes, some updates, and this is going to be a really quick little thing, but let's take a look at this. We have subtitles. And then this year, he's saying we're also going to be rolling out Algorand Kit 3.0, which is our next gen developer suite tool. What it says is Algorand Kit 3.0, line by line debugging improvements and visual debugging. And we're talking about some other stuff too. Why don't you just listen to him? We'll cut that in. Very cool stuff from John Allen Woods explaining that. And we'll keep an out for that. I think Algorand's doing a lot. It's doing a lot to cater to developers, and that we're hoping that brings developers onto the Algorand rails. I think you'll see a lot of that in the bull run, which we seem to be coming up. By the way, we should take a little break and just look at the charts. Because here's what we're seeing now. Where everyone was like kind of freaking out when we dipped over under 12 cents, but we're back up to 12 as the rest of the market pumps up as well. Bitcoin hitting 66,000 at one point today. Might even get higher by the time you're watching this video. I don't know. But nice to see some positive price action here on the, kind of leading up from yesterday into today. Actually, I guess early morning hours. Yeah, a little bit. I'd say starting yesterday. Cool to see that. Nice to see things going up a little bit. I just wanted to touch on that really briefly before we get back to the rest of the news. And next, kind of a cool little item from ParaWallet. They released a new price chart integration. Let's take a look at this. UI improvement. Clicking the algo price in discovery now brings up the chart, and you can see it. You can see that in real time happening here. Let's just watch that again. Price, click the price, and boom, there's your chart. Not the best chart. This is right before things pumped up, but cool to see that. They talk about that at all more. Some people ask for push notifications. Option to flip the chart and reverse the colors. Takes phone, turns upside down. Just kidding, hit the invert button. I like the sense of humor here. Should integrate a unique username feature as well. Personalization settings are under feature request list. So they got some stuff, a lot of stuff they're working on here. Good to see. I've actually been happy to see Para developing and continuing to improve. So I like that. And it's been working pretty well for me. I haven't had too many issues. A lot of people still really swear by DeFi, and I like that one too. So great, two great apps, two great wallets, and Daffy app still being worked on, and they released a coin, so that's interesting too. But yeah, good job on Para. I like to see this kind of stuff. But let's get to our next item. This is the big one. The first Tinyman governance vote is coming. Let's take a look at this news item. I think it's pretty interesting. Tinyman is calling all users. The first on-chain proposal is launching Monday, October 14th. It's your call to decide the fate of unclaimed Tiny tokens from the recent airdrop. Yeah, by the way, if you guys haven't claimed these, you should definitely claim these. It's basically free money, and the coin's been doing pretty good. That's what's pretty interesting. Unlike the typical ASA thing where it kind of boots up, boots back down. I call it the boot because it shoots up, shoots down, makes like the little leg of the boot, and then it kind of slowly winds down after that. This one hasn't made the boot pattern. So anyway, it's free. If you've been using Tinyman, you have this coming. So you should go to, then you can lock them if you want to vote. And I've been getting pretty good rewards from locking. I decided to do a little experiment and try it out, and I locked them in, and I've almost gotten as much in rewards as I put in to lock. Not quite. I'm probably about 1,000 Tiny away, I think. Logged in on this one. So I received 3,600, a little over 3,600 Tiny, and it's about a 0.1% weight. So I don't have a huge 0.01% weight. Did I say that? Got 35. It's actually a little under 1,000, a little more than 1,000. But I've gotten almost $100 in rewards, which I've put back into the Tinyman pools and gotten more Tiny that way. And then I'm just putting those back in the pool. So that's how I'm structuring it. But yeah, this is good. And so it isn't open yet, but it will be soon. So they said today, but they didn't say what time today. So, and I don't know what time frame they operate on. They could be in a different, I'm sure they're in a different part of the world. I don't know. But this will be coming soon. So I think we'll talk a little bit more about the proposal tomorrow. I was hoping it'd be out by the time I could record the video. Well, interesting. Actually, I have 3,800 I received, but only 3,600 was the Tiny power. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know what that's all about. But yeah, and I locked it. I locked it for like 4 years, so I got a ways to go. But as long as I get as much as I put in or then some, then it's fine. Even if for some reason it disappears or whatever, making Algorand and Tiny from this. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a big deal. This will be the first governance vote. I'm really curious how this is going to go, because one of my criticisms of Algorand governance is that it just hasn't been very, just haven't felt like any of the votes were very consequential or things that I really cared about. And it felt like more of a pain in the butt to participate in without much reward. I just think there's better options to get rewards. I think governance rewards will be really, really good. Excuse me, node incentives are going to be great. That's going to be the future of Algorand. We're going to talk a little bit more about that yet tomorrow. That's on my list. I got John Allen Woods talking about that. So, and yeah, I'm trying to get him and the entire podcast team, which would be Min from Parawallet and Mark, the marketer, their new CMO, hoping to get them all on a channel together. We talked about it. John Woods is help setting it up, but we'll see how that goes. He's been wanting to come back on, and I've always fun to talk to him, so that's great. Keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be going on the next block this week on Thursday, so keep an eye out. I'll be sharing stuff in the community tab, so check that out. Let's see what else. And I'm hoping to have a gala kind of showdown, a little bit of a debate, sort of discussion debate with Dubstep Rob and Lycan Warlord. So keep an eye out for that on Friday. We're going to do that at 12:15 on Friday at CST. The next block one should be noon CST. So keep an eye out for that as well. Otherwise, I'm Frugal BC. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, you should do that already. And this is where I think this is where the bull run really started. The real second half of the bull run, the one that really matters, the one that really pumps your bags. It's coming to everybody. It'll be differentiated. Some coins will do really, really well. Some will do just okay. And you should have more than one coin. If you only have one coin, I think that's kind of a crazy bet to make. I think diversity helps control your downside risk, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, usually what I found in the past cycles, it's usually around Thanksgiving to Christmas that I'm talking about my crazy crypto gains. So we should be getting close to that. I think October is going to happen. Like I said, 66K Bitcoin we hit today, and we've got other stuff coming up too. So other coins are doing well. So keep an eye out. Otherwise, I'm Frugal BC. Stay safe, mind your bags, and I'll see you in the future.